Hey Riley besties, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking about romance. Woo! I love romance. I love romance. I love romance. I'm so excited today because I'm going to be talking about like 4 tips on how to write romance in your book. But if you enjoy this video, definitely subscribe to my channel because it does help so much. And also this video is actually sponsored by Dreame, so more about them as we get onto the video. But yeah, let's go ahead and get on to the 4 tips to write romance. Okay, as a little disclaimer, I am a bit sick, so my voice is a little bit deep. Sound like a man, I sound like a boy. I kind of dig it, but yeah, that's why my voice is kind of weird. I'm low-key still sick. I swore I got COVID again, but I don't think it is. Man, I really do sound like a man. Anyways, the first tip to write good romance in your book is to read romance books and pick tropes. Pick tropes that suit your book. So as I said just before, this video is sponsored by Dreame, and I'm so excited to share Dreame with you guys today. I have it right here on my phone. So Dreame is a well-known reading app where readers are usually girls, but it can be guys as well. It's just a really great way to actually read romance and understand what tropes really suit your book best and what tropes that you kind of really dig for. I really love Dreame because their slogan is like, a great story starts here, and there's lots of amazing categories that include a lot of different romance books, even like paranormal romance books, young adult romance books. It has all the different tropes that you need to kind of get inspired to write your own romance book. Of course, romance can literally be with anything, and that's why I love it so much. It's such a versatile sort of genre, and I feel like everyone loves it. So if you dig like werewolf sort of romance or different like supernatural romance, I really recommend, for example, the werewolf romance book, which is Finding Her True Alpha, and it's a really interesting read. I definitely recommend it. I think it's just so fun to kind of just read something out of your comfort zone as well, and maybe you can use that as inspiration to when you actually write your romance book. So yeah, this is kind of what the interface looks like. It's kind of very similar to Wattpad or like AO3, those sorts of reading platforms, but it's actually like so much more cleaner. I honestly prefer this much better to Wattpad. I don't really read Wattpad too much, but this is cute. Whenever I read on my phone, it's usually romance, so that's why this app, like literally, I'm gonna use it so much. But I just know that no matter like the romance niche you're looking for, you'll find it on Dreame, I assure you. So I have the links in the description for you to download Dreame off the App Store. I definitely recommend it, especially if you are looking to write romance, to read romance stories and romance books that other authors have written. So yeah, thank you so much Dreame for partnering with me in this video. However, yes, so in terms of tropes, really just list on not only the tropes that will fit your book, but tropes that you want to write. I think it's such a important thing that I don't stress enough on this channel, and that is the fact that you need to write what you love. Write what you love to read, basically. So for example, if you love enemies to lovers, like you're a hardcore enemies to lovers fan, have that in your book. And although it's important to make sure that sort of trope fits into your story and your plot, just really understand that you can shape your plot whatever you want in order to incorporate whatever romance that you want. I, for example, really love the soft kind of character with the sort of grungy, like mad, angry character, like that sort of like sunshine moon sort of trope really appealed to me. So in my project I First Met You in the Graveyard, I've talked about it so much on this channel. It's a cute romance between Kaido and Amen, 2 cute boys, and I love it so much. So I used that trope within my story, and it just clicked so well because it just naturally came about. So just kind of really be aware of what sort of tropes that you love to read, and also just have a good sort of foundation in romance and reading romance, and really just drawing inspiration from your favorite romance books. So yeah, I guess that's the first tip, to gain inspiration from romance books, and also to list down your favorite tropes that you definitely want to include in your book. Okay, the second thing is extremely important, and that is to actually realize the difference between having romance as a plot and having romance as a subplot. A way to kind of understand if your book has romance as its subplot or its main plot, definitely just think can I take the romance out of this story and will it still be able to run? Like, can I still read that book without any romance whatsoever? If you can, that means it's a subplot and something that's not so important, but it's still important for the characters and the development. However, if you can't take it because literally the love between the two characters or more characters is so integral to the plot, then it's definitely a plot driven romance. This is actually important to understand because you need to make sure that romance is, you know, something that is a part of every single scene sort of thing. Of course it doesn't have to be a part of every single scene, but it just needs to be very prevalent within the book because your audience is gonna want the romance. They're gonna be here for the romance. If it's a romance fantasy, they're gonna be here for the romance too, not just the fantasy element. And I think having a good balance of each is something really good to keep in mind because in order to write a good romance, there needs to be good plot. So I guess this tip has to do with one, like making sure that you actually have plot and you actually make sure that the love between the two characters have high stakes and therefore is very like dependent on the plot. And if their love falls apart, then something happens. If they actually fall in love, something bad happens, like forbidden lovers or enemies to lovers, like if they get together, the kingdom falls apart, or like they can't end up fulfilling their mission if like one of them loves them but they have to kill them as an assassin. Like those sorts of really cool like sort of tropes, sort of plot developments are very, very important to understand. So again, make sure that the romance in your book is actually, you know, a part of the plot and extremely integral if it is a plot driven romance. If it's not a plot driven romance, just have little sprinkles of things and just remember that it is there for the character development and as a subplot, but don't stress too much about, yeah, making sure it's something big, something like, I don't know how to explain that. That's a good segue over to tip 3, which is character development. Your characters need to change from the romance just as much as they need to change from the plot. I would actually recommend literally listing out and fleshing out how your characters have changed due to solely the romance. I think this is really important because your characters literally need to change because of the other character. The other character who's in love with this character or vice versa, or they both are in love with each other, like this character needs to impact this character from their love. Like they need to change from this character's love, and the same thing goes to there. This can be, for example, a change in their behavior. Maybe they begin to actually become more protective over the other character and they kind of shift their behavior from being like, I don't know, more outgoing, more like chill, to more like stressed and more like, I don't know, yeah, protective. Or maybe it's just changing their character as a person. Maybe they're starting to learn things about themselves, about the world, and shifting their beliefs. You know, those sorts of things are very important to think about, that basically, yeah, your characters need to change due to the romance. For example, if you have read The Cruel Prince by Holly Black, you can definitely tell that the character Cardan throughout the series, it's a trilogy by the way, that Cardan has actually changed because of Jude and because of his love for Jude, okay? And that sort of love and behavior and his character definitely switches. Like if you read him in this book to like the last book, he's a completely different person. Literally just Jude, the feelings that he has for Jude and the things that he would give up for her. Do you see where I'm getting at? You know, your character needs to develop, needs to change because of their feelings. And sometimes it can be bad, sometimes it can be for the better. Like, you have to decide that for yourself. But again, yeah, characters need to change. The last tip, number 4, is to make your romance different. Make your romance matter. This is very important because you need to actually understand why you want to include romance in your book. And of course it's cute because it's all fluffy, it's all like cute, and like there's kiss scenes and you're like, so cool, and I love them. Like it's so fun to write, and I understand why you would want to write a romance book because I've written my romance book and I adore it. I think about it every single day. But you have to make your romance special. You need to make it special. And kind of what I mean by that is I'm going to be explaining the love between my two characters, Eamon and Kaido, which is from my project I First Met You in a Graveyard, which I talked about briefly just before. But this romance story is extremely important because the romance within the book carries a really important message. Basically, the sort of motif around my book, which I think I've shared in one of my videos, is basically like Kaido and Eamon, they're running around the world, right? So this is the world, but they're both running around the world, and Amen is chasing the love and warmth of the sun. So he's chasing the day basically, and Kaido is chasing the companionship of the moon. And basically as they're running, they're never ever gonna get to the moon or the sun. But as they run, they actually end up meeting together, and they find each other through, you know, their pursuit for something bigger. And I think that's just adorable, and I kind of dive more into that sort of idea throughout the book, where Kaido and Amen, they both teach each other something, and that is solely based off their character and what they've been through as a person. For example, Kaido actually teaches Amen what it means to live and truly be alive, and Amen teaches Kaido what it means to die and what death means to the living. And I think like that's sort of, it's like polar opposite sort of things, like the sun and the moon, and like the different things they tell each other. It's like polar opposites, but it's so beautiful and distinct and unique, and that's what I love in my story especially. So I hope that kind of helped you, and I just kind of shared a little bit about my book and why like romance means a lot to me, and how romance can truly not just be like a fling between two characters, but something that is grounding and something that can really be told, you know, like the message can truly like shine through the romance and the feelings for each other within the two characters. So yeah, that's my book, and yeah, I hope these tips help. Thank you so much for watching. My voice is literally dead. I want to die. Sorry about that. I really wish my voice was okay, but I really need this video out. But anyways, I hope you enjoyed the video. I'm so excited for your romance. Guys, I'm excited. I am so excited. And I hope you have a lot of fun in your romance books. Again, big preface, just write what you want to write what is fun for your two characters within your book, and yeah, just chill, just like let it come out, let it come out. Your characters will love each other, and they'll tell you how they want to fall in love. Like, you guys got it. But please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and definitely check out my Instagram page. I post a lot on there, and I've been posting so much during the new year, so definitely check that out. Anyways, I love you guys, and I hope to see you in my next video. Bye!